You are now about to go on a generic side quest.
Hello, and welcome to another generic transmission, generic side quest, generic podcast. I am here with
I'm Real, and you are?
Rickytheleaf, 8-bit to the future, Drake Quintel, a man of many names, but a few talents. And we are here today to talk about Gamescon.
Yeah.
Mostly, and games in general, but Gamescon is happening.
The indie world.
Yeah, the indie world that Nintendo dropped, where they had roughly, I think, 25 games that they showed off.
They had a lot of games.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about big things that came out in this past week from Gamescon and just in the industry in general, and just give you our takes.
Sounds good, man.
Let's start with Indie World, which was done on August the 19th, which was this past Monday. While we were recording this, it was actually yesterday, I believe. There was rumors going into it about games that were going to be announced, shadow drops, which ended up being correct. But we'll just talk about it once we get to those specific games. So I know you have them all listed with release dates and everything.
I do. A lot of people were looking forward to this Gamescon. They were like touting it as like an E3 killer.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't. And I heard in the Nintendo live stream, there was toxic fans, just like a whole lot of toxic fans wanting Smash related information. Yeah, it's like people like, it's called Indie World. Like, why would Smash ever show up there?
Yeah.
But you know how fans are.
Yeah, you can never make everybody happy.
Yeah. First of all, I want to talk about the animation of the showcase. It was like kind of cheap, but like I liked it. Very 2D-ish. Like I liked the production of it. But they should have a proper name for it, like an Indie Direct or Nintendo Direct featuring indies.
Yeah.
Their branding is like a little bit off. Or they could go forward with Indie World. I wouldn't mind that either.
No, that's fine. They actually did an Indie World before.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, they've used Nindies. They've used Indie World. I think they've just had an indie showcase before.
Yep.
And just choose
one.
Just choose one. And if you want to call one a mini and one a thing because one's a smaller one, that's fine. But like, I think there should be some uniform. And I do like the visual style and the animation. I thought it was a specific game when the Indie World opened up.
Yeah. For a few of them, I thought, oh wait, is this it? Oh no, this is just production.
Yeah. But I mean, it was fine, and they use the same people that always do these indie directs. You never saw them. You only heard their voices. I think they even made a joke at the beginning of the Indie World saying they were disembodied voices.
Yeah.
So still have that humor that they always have in these, but the good thing is they focus all on the games for the most part, and they jam pack it full of games.
So the first game up on the docket was Risk of Rain number 2. I actually didn't know there was a number 1.
Same here.
Because I think the first one, I could be wrong, was in 2D. This one is in a new dimension like they said in the trailer. It's multiplayer. It could be fun, but I'm not sure. I would have to get hands-on with this guy.
Yeah, and I don't even think, to be honest, I'm going to really get hands-on with it. It's cool to see it's a game published by Gearbox.
Yeah.
So that's a big publisher right there.
Showing Nintendo support.
Yeah. Then again, we don't know if this is exclusive. Probably not, because that would have been mentioned at least. But yeah, I know nothing about the original Risk of Rain, so...
you know what sucks is this is probably going to be the only Gearbox game that shows up on the Switch. Unless it does good. What do you think is going to drop?
We'll see Borderlands 1 and 2, like the collection. Not 3.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll ever see 3. If we do, it's years down the road. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Handsome Collection come out by like next year.
So Risk of Rain drops summer 2019, so that's just in a few more days.
Yeah, that could have been shadow dropped. For some reason it wasn't. So
the next game up on the docket, Eastward. Man, I love this fucking art style.
Yeah.
It's so crisp, and it looks like it has a long story. I know it's weird to say that from like just a brief trailer, but the world looks filled out.
Yep.
Like it looks well thought out and realized. And I just can't get over that art style. It reminds me of like Japanese art, not anime or anything like that, but just like pieces of art, how it's so densely packed.
Yeah.
And the colors are insane.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The art style is what piqued my interest at first, and it was cool to see Chucklefish is actually working on this one. They're the people that made Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
So they're all about immersion. Of course, this looks nothing like Stardew Valley in terms of gameplay wise, right? This had like that isometric type of view. The only thing I'm getting from it that like I feel like I might not like is the control seems a little weird because it seems like movement is in a full 8 directions or like diagonal.
Right.
But I mean, of course, until we get our hands on it, we wouldn't know. But this is definitely one of the highlights from this
I would
stream.
say so. And that one comes out October 2020.
Cool. October 2020 or October 2019?
I thought I saw 2020, man.
So that's over a year away?
Yeah.
Wow.
The next one is Freedom Finger. So it's a shoot 'em up. It kind of reminds me, and I think you said this, of an Adult Swim game.
Yeah, had that vibe.
It has a wicked soundtrack though. I really like the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't tell you most of the bands.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of like indie bands and stuff.
Yeah.
But...
Which I could appreciate. I always like finding new music. It does have this cool mechanic of grabbing enemies to use them as weapons, which I think is pretty cool. It looks like a really indie game.
Yeah.
And that one comes out fall 2019.
Yeah, and the only thing I'll add on there, you already said it, that it reminded you of an Adult Swim game like Pool Panic. So maybe the humor will be good in that, but other than that, it's just unfortunately looks like a generic type of shoot 'em up that I'll probably pass on. But
so it's
we
perfect
do like
for
our
us.
generic. Yeah, that's right.
The next one up is Rookie. Don't forget those accents over the O.
Yep, those 2 dots.
I'm not impressed. It looks fine, but it also just looks like a walking simulator.
Honestly, I think out of all the trailers, this one showed very little gameplay, if that was gameplay.
Yeah. I think that was gameplay.
Oh, gosh.
And sorry, Freedom Finger comes out fall 2019.
Okay.
Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, it's okay. The art style seemed cool enough. It gave me vibes of Rhyme, like that cell shadiness.
Yeah.
It was a little darker, I guess it was the scenes, but yeah, there's nothing really to go on there. I would need to see more on that game, but it didn't pique my interest.
And that one comes out in the winter. The next one up is reminding me heavily of a mobile game, Torchlight 2. A lot of sequels on this list, actually.
Yeah.
It looks like the Diablo.
Yeah, I don't know much about Torchlight, but I know I've heard it on the PC as a big deal. So like I feel like this is a big get for the Switch. But yeah, even when we were looking at the logo of the game and the art style, it has a very free-to-play vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I know this is not a free-to-play game, but that's just a problem right there, I feel, when you think that. But I guess people that like the dungeon crawler type of Diablo-style gameplay are going to enjoy this.
So how they introduced this game in the Indies world, they had the same production animation. So the animation actually looked more interesting to me than the actual game.
Yeah, those like knights or whatever that were playing off their Switch. Yeah, I agree with you.
And that one comes out September 3rd.
Oh, that one's probably the soonest one coming out, other than the ones that Shadow dropped, of course.
The ones that say summer.
Summer is up until the September 21st, though. So technically, that summer game could...
right.
Summer.
The next one up is Skater XL. Your typical skateboard game. It looks cool to me. I'm not really into skateboard games. The first trick of the trailer, it looked pretty jank, like the animation.
Yeah.
But the rest of them looked fine. I don't mind the graphics. They're pretty simple, to the point. They're not bad in my opinion.
No, they're not bad.
One thing I'm curious about is I wonder if you can pull off the same move over and over again, or because of the mechanics of like full board control or no move is ever the same. I wonder if it's just like almost random.
Yeah, I don't know.
The control seems weird.
Yeah, and they're touting that no move will be the same.
Yeah.
And how deep it is. But yeah, that does seem like how deep is it that, like, is it just random, some of the things that you'll pull off? There is another skateboarding game that looks much better than this, and maybe that's why. But I don't know if I think the other game is actually in indie. It's just not announced for the Switch. I think it's only on the PS4 and Xbox.
What is it?
It's called Session.
Okay.
Very similar trailer where it, like that same Like, here's shots of people doing tricks behind the character, whatever. Yeah. They're all going for that Skate 4 vibe.
Oh, right.
Because everybody wants Skate 4. If you ever go to an EA post on Instagram, the comment section is always like, this is not Skate 4. This is not Skate 4. So
yeah. Skate 4 has, like, a more realistic look, I feel.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It would look better.
Yeah.
If it ever does come out.
And this one's coming out 2020.
Okay.
The next game up on the docket is Europa.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They had the cool little post-apocalyptic Eiffel Tower in the background. Other than that, it reminds me of The Blob for some reason. I get The Blob vibes.
Yeah.
And it has some sort of paint mechanics. I think that works as your health. They have a very... okay, so I don't understand the gimmick of gravity.
It keeps you down on the ground.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. I just don't understand what its hook is for this particular game. It looks fine, but I think it'll get lost in the shuffle.
See, you said it gave you vibes of The Blob. It gave me vibes of Human Fall Flat.
True.
Just because of the art style, maybe.
I wouldn't say the art style. I would say the main character.
The main character, yeah.
Yeah.
The actual concept of the gravity seems like it could be a cool idea.
Yeah, but why? I want to know why.
Anytime you're playing with gravity, I mean, I've played a lot of indie games that are... I shouldn't say a lot, but a game like VVVVV, which relies on changing gravity all the time. Dendara looks like a cool game. I've never played
Dendara,
it,
yeah.
But that
one looks pretty cool.
I mean, I'm saying gravity, but I'm saying like a jump mechanic, which...
We should play Dendara.
We should. I think that goes on sale sometimes, but I do want to play that. I mean, I like the concept or the idea of it, but seeing it in action is just blah.
Yeah. That one comes out in the winter. Next one is a pretty cool game. I seen it first on the PC. I think Funhouse played it. Must have been. Is Super Hot.
Super Hot.
I like the motion function of the Switch. Like you turn it to dodge bullets. It's pretty cool when you're in handheld mode. Other than that, it seems like an interesting game overall, but it is an older game, and this is the first shadow drop of the evening.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm a big fan of Super Hot. I actually got it for free when it was part of Games with Gold for the Xbox a few months ago. Really fun title, puzzle, first-person shooter, time manipulation, and everything. I heard it's much better in VR. I would love to get it for PSVR, but I don't want to pay for that game again.
Maybe it'll get Labo support.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. I wrote that down too in my notes here. Yeah. One thing I want to point out is the stupid Switch tax, even on these old games.
Yeah.
This game currently in Canada on the eShop is $31. This is still an indie game. It's not very long. Sure, it's difficult, so it prolongs the length of it, but I think it's like 3 or 4 hours long. So, like, to pay $31 seems a little ridiculous.
Crazy.
I would wait for a sale, but the actual game is a lot of fun and a cool art style and mechanic, and even the story, though simple, is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that one's out now. Dungeon Defenders Awakening. It's just not my thing. The most notable thing I could say about this, again, it's apparently a sequel to the first ever tower defense. Sure, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But the most notable thing for this is it's timed exclusive, and I just want to know why.
Yeah, I want to know why too, because the game actually looks quite rough. I mean, it has that generic, like, cartoonish art style of like a Fortnite, but like cheaper looking to me. And it also looked like, I don't know if that was just the trailer, it looked like it was not running very smoothly.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because when you're showing a trailer, you have the optimal thing that you're showing, right? So at least it's a timed exclusive. I guess that's a big get for Nintendo.
But why? Like, why? I don't understand. Anyways, from talking about... I wouldn't say trash. It's a good. It's a game. I don't know how to make games, so I'm sure that game, there's time and effort put into it. But to a game that I am looking forward to, The Tourist. Man, this game looks dope. For some reason, I get the vibe. Like, not much was really explained in the trailer, But I get this vibe of like this rich guy flying to like solve mysteries. He can play in arcades, and it's a puzzle solving game. But I'm very intrigued. It has a cool art style. It's like Lego-y, but not. I don't know. It's vibrant. I like it.
Yeah, the art style looks really cool. It has like almost Minecraft like blockiness, but much cleaner.
Yeah,
very colorful. Gave me a lot of vibes of Zelda because the dungeons and stuff like that, and the puzzles. The only thing I'm a little worried about this game, the trailer made it seem a lot more story based, or in terms of like, yeah, you're like this rich guy that comes to this island and stuff like that. I feel like that's going to be kept to a minimum.
Oh, no.
And it's going to be just a lot of these puzzles.
I hope
that's
not.
just the vibe I'm getting from, because I think they were trying to make it look cooler than it actually is.
No, don't say that.
Though I am hyped up for this game, and I want to see how much this game comes out for, because I do want to try it out when it comes out. And when is that coming out?
November 19th.
Nice. So in the middle of all those other games so I'll never get to play this. Because I think Pokemon comes out 4 days before that.
Oh, right on. We hit a rough patch again with Skellboy.
Oh, God.
So now, okay, so my first impression, it looks like Octopath.
Oh,
Traveler.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The podcast is done. We're going to argue about this now, because it does not look like that.
It does remind me of Octopath art style with the 2D sprites in a 3D world.
That's HD 2D or whatever. 2D what did they call it? They trademarked that name, I think.
Whatever.
Sorry, continue.
It reminded me of that, but obviously not to the pixel art standards of a Square Enix.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they were going for something similar to that. I am not really interested in it. It's just like a beat 'em up. But I do like the very catchy theme song. It's almost like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
Even though the trailer, like when it was being introduced, the trailer mentioned like a mechanic of swapping body parts. But I don't think any of that was shown in the trailer.
I think it was shown, but very early on. It didn't show much. Like, when
just
it was
saw
showing
him...
combat and stuff, it didn't really go into...
I just saw him in different suits, but that's not really changing body parts.
I don't know.
So you play as the titular Skellboy, but that's about it. I mean, go listen to the song. The song's pretty good.
I have nothing to say about that. But when is that coming out?
December 3rd.
All right.
The next one, I
think we're split on this next one. Yeah.
Earth Knight. So it is an endless runner. Yeah, endless runners, you don't do much. But one of my favorite games for like the Wii Shop channel, Bit Trip Runner.
Oh yeah.
But this one, like this art style, it looks so interesting. You have to stop this dragon apocalypse. And I think people live in the air. The story seems like it could be cool. Like the graphics look amazing. The art style looks amazing. Even though it's an endless runner. I'm not a big fan of the music. It's a bit too chiptune for me. It's a bit too endless runner music to me. But they really did get me with the art style and the free falling sections. That looked interesting. It's a black girl who is the main protagonist. The other bald Asian guy looks cool to play as. Like the art is so good, and that comes out 2019. What are your thoughts on Earth Knight?
I'm almost on the other end. To me, the art style wasn't very appealing, and it's funny because I think on all the other ones, in terms of art style and the way the game looks, we for the most part agree.
Right.
I shouldn't say I'm on the opposite end, because I don't think the game looks ugly by any means, and it might just be because it's an endless runner. I'm subconsciously just thinking, it has this look to it, and it does seem weird, and that's the one part I do like about it.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
What?
Nidhogg a bit. Like an evolution of Nidhogg.
Nidhogg 2 has a horrible art style, though I do love that game.
Yeah.
It does.
But I don't know, this art style it's so vibrant, and the dragons are all kind of done in a different art style, which I appreciate.
It has a 3D depth, some of the like images in the background and stuff to it, which is cool.
But the character models of like the bald guy and the girl, man, those are stellar. Those are so good.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I shouldn't be comparing it to something like Rayman Legends, because you're looking at like a big ass studio making that compared to whoever's making this game.
I feel that one is more crisp.
Yeah, it's more of an actual cartoon with that and the
Yeah.
animation and everything. It could be interesting. I wrote down here that I want this game to be cheap because it's an endless runner.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be much in terms of story. Again, I think it's just made up more for the trailer.
I don't know. I think these type of games are perfect to flesh out the story.
It's an endless runner. That's all it is.
Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good.
We'll see. We'll see when it comes out. Sorry, you said it comes
2020.
out 2020. All right.
The next games, Hotline Miami 2 and 1. So that's the first Hotline Miami and the second one.
It's called Hotline Miami Collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. It was a pretty bad trailer. But at the same time, do we really need to know what Hotline Miami is? Like, we already know what it is.
Agreed.
It's also shadow dropped, and it's out now.
Yeah, I suggest everybody play Hotline Miami in one way. You don't have to play it on the Switch, though. The portable nature of the Switch is perfect for a game like this.
I guess.
The trailer is trash. I mean, the music's always good in the game, and the trailer had great music, but the trailer showed no gameplay at all. I would not know if I didn't know Hotline Miami. I would not know what the hell Hotline Miami was by watching that trailer.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. Damn hard game. Very gruesome, but not worth $30 right now on the Switch. Go find it for cheap. Probably Steam probably has it for like a couple bucks.
Right.
Play it that way.
Here comes the sizzle reel. This was just an explosion of games.
Mm-hmm.
First up on the deck was a game called Blasphemous. It's actually, I guess, published by Team 17. And I know Team 17 as the guys who made the Worms game. It looks like a cool SNES game.
Yep.
Maybe a little Castlevania in there.
I wrote Castlevania vibes.
Yeah. But it has like this weird pseudo 3D look.
Yeah.
It releases on September 26th.
Cool. Yeah, it also gave me vibes of The Messenger a little bit.
A little bit.
Just in terms of style. Not in terms of actual gameplay, but...
I really want to play The Messenger.
Me as well. And they added that DLC recently. Beach or Picnic Panic or something.
What?
They added free DLC, like water levels and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Next up is Close to the Sun.
Boring.
So they didn't really... So they only showed this playing off the handheld. It looks like an escape room game. And it's coming out in 2019. Next is Cat Quest 2. This releases in the fall. It looks fun. It looks like an open-y Cat Quest game. Beat 'em up. I don't know. Could be good.
Yeah, it looks like Cat Quest 1, which I have not played, but almost got because it was really cheap recently on the Switch, so maybe I'll still check that out.
Right. The next one is really interesting because I could have sworn it was an Xbox exclusive that they showed off at E3. Spirited Fairer. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, I would say it that way too.
It looks dope. I like anything hand animation, and this has all those vibes. This might be part of, like, you know, that recent Nintendo Xbox deal, like where they're sharing games.
It's not published by Xbox Game Studios though.
Right.
So,
No,
but it
could
could
still
be a deal
exclusive.
that. Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
It gives me Adventure Time vibes, but I do like the art style. What do you think?
Yeah, I do like the art style a lot of the game. I think they showed a lot more during the Xbox. Well, this was part of the sizzle reel here.
Yeah.
At the Xbox E3 conference, they showed a lot more about it, and I was interested in it. But this is the type of game I would have to play to see if I'm actually into it. Other than the art style, nothing really jumped out at me there.
I think it's like another story-based platformer, which I'm all about.
Yeah.
Next up is Trine 4. And all I have to say about this one is another one.
Yeah, why another one? Man, this series just keeps going. I mean, the art style looked kind of cool.
I mean, it looks
To
like
me.
other Trine.
It looks a little nicer, I feel, than other Trines. They kind of went with a more softer look to it, but
Right.
I still won't play it.
Here's another one I thought we saw before. Maybe for Xbox, but it's Creature in the Well. Oh, sorry. Spirited Fairer releases in spring. I do not know when Trine 4 releases.
Yeah, it's okay.
But back to Creature in the Well. Yeah, I just can't remember where I saw it.
Yeah, I was on the same boat as you that I have seen this game before, or this... I think I did. Somewhere.
I'm
Recently,
I'm
too.
positive. But it's basically a top-down. It reminded me.
Isometric,
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Travis Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And that's coming out September 6th.
Yeah. It has a cool cel-shaded look, which I think is interesting. So.
Yeah. Next up, One Finger Death Punch 2.
This game reminds me of something you would find on like E-Bombs World.
It probably got its start on E-Bombs.
Yeah, because of that little stickman guy.
Yeah.
Very Flash type of game. It looks like a rhythm fighter, I guess you could say.
Right, so I just noticed that in my second look at the sizzle reel. I thought it was just a fighter.
Yeah.
You go back and forth and beat them up.
No, but with the meter on the bottom.
It looks like a rhythm game.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
That could be fun, but that's a game that has to be less than $5.
$5, yeah.
Because no way you're charging $10 and I'm paying for that. And I didn't even know there was a One Finger Death Punch 1. So.
It's on E-Bombs World, yeah. And that comes out December 2nd.
Yeah.
Next one up.
Game of Show.
Best Friends Forever. And
Best Friend Forever.
Best Friend Forever. And it comes out Valentine's Day. It gives me graphic novel vibes along with dating sim and pet sim. Do you know anything about this game, Rix?
I know. So you date the people in the game, but everybody basically has a dog.
Okay.
So yeah, it's part dating simulator, parts Nintendogs, I guess, where you have to take them to the daycare, or like the doggy daycare or whatever, and
grooming and
yeah, it's very Japanese. Even though I don't know if the developer actually is Japanese, but it has those weird vibes of like, what's the name of that game? Hateful Boyfriend, and like those weird ass games. It definitely has my interest, but I usually don't play those games. So, you know what? I might finally dabble in this. It seems like I like Japanese games. I've been playing Fire Emblem, so I will like Best Friend Forever.
How many waifus do you have?
In that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to get one, and then I'm hoping all the other ones will follow suit because that's how it works with women. But we'll see.
All right. Next one is Fogs. It kind of sounds like fags, but it is not an offensive game by any stretch of the imagination unless
you don't like two-headed dogs.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Cat Dog. You remember that cartoon?
Yeah, that Nickelodeon cartoon.
It's coming out in 2020, and it's cute, I guess, but I think there are other games like this.
There are, but to be honest, out of all the games shown, or not out of all the games shown, this was unique out of the title shown because there wasn't many co-op games, at least I could see, that they showed off. Most of the stuff seemed like single player. I mean, you did have...
Is this strictly co-op, or can you play...
I don't know if it's strictly co-op, but I got co-op vibes, like puzzle, platformer type of vibes. It seems like the type of thing you'd play with your friend and yell at each other and just be on the floor laughing because of how crazy it is.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to that. But yeah, is a lot on the market in general for games like this.
And again, that comes out 2020. The next game up... What's it called? What the Gold?
What the Golf.
Oh, What the Golf.
Because it's a golf
type
of game.
So this one actually reminds me of the Adult Swim game Pool Panic. You're hitting the golf ball multiple times into the hole, and there are obstacles that will block your path. It's very zany. At one point, I think you could hit a person into the hole, and then you're driving a car.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of Pool Panic vibes.
It reminded me of like almost Goat Simulator because it's very physics based, it seems. So yeah, the zaniness. I don't know how much of an actual golf simulator this is gonna be.
Right.
But it seems like the type of game. I don't know if this is brand new, but it seems like the type of game that would do very well on like Steam on the PC that people would do playthroughs of. So might be interesting.
Next one up is Kine. That's releasing in 2019.
All capital letters, by the way.
Right. I have no idea what's going on. It kind of has a Katamari vibe, maybe.
Oof.
It's cell shaded, but in the comics cell shaded style, which is kind of cool. It reminded me of, remember Project Steam or Codename Steam, that Nintendo 3DS? Yeah, it reminded me of that, but only in art style, only the type of cell shading. Other than that, I have no idea what's going on in this trailer.
Actually, the game reminds me a lot of, this is going to be really random, of Cuboid. I don't know if anybody played that. It was an indie game on the PS3. Basically, it was a puzzle game where you moved a cube around a platform, and it reminds me of that, or like even Death Squared, even though that's a co-op type of puzzle game. But it's I'm getting those vibes from this, and I do like the cel-shaded art style.
Are you interested in the game?
Yeah, I am interested in the
Really?
game. Yeah.
Huh.
Because I played I can't believe I can say I played a lot of Cuboid. I doubt anybody knows listening to this what the hell Cuboid is.
What system did you play that for?
PS3.
So you got trophies.
This might have been before trophies. Like, it was one of the first PS3 games I played.
Wow.
But I did enjoy it quite a bit, even though it's just a puzzle game. That's all it is, and I feel like this is very similar to it.
I couldn't understand like what the main thing you were moving was.
That I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Next up, this game looks really fun. Hypercharger Unboxed, and it's coming out in the winter. So it's like a Toy Story Small Soldiers first-person shooter. It looks good. Like, I'm not a first-person fan, but like the concept of like your toys like actually fighting, I dig it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's basically 3DO has come back from the dead, and they brought back the Army Men series.
Yeah.
In a first person. I actually, even, like, you could look at the trailer, and some people might, like, oh, it looks cool. I like the art style of it. It's clean.
Yeah.
It's colorful.
It doesn't look like an indie.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look cartoony in the way of something like Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
But it looks cleaner than something like a Fortnite in terms of its art style.
Agreed.
And yeah, I agree that it does not look like an indie game. It seems like a lot of work has been put in. I mean, all these games, it seems like a lot of work has been put into it. But I'm getting good vibes from that. I might want to try that one out, especially if it has a fun like multiplayer aspect.
Oh man,
to
hopefully
it, so.
it's couch co-op, or not co-op, but like same screen multiplayer.
That would be cool if you could do 4-player.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
And that comes out winter. The next one is Northgard. It looks like a MOBA. Not great graphics. It's the perfect game for a sizzle reel.
Yeah.
Just to kind of put it in there.
Yeah, I said it looks bad. Yeah, it just looked rough, and I guess it is a MOBA. Not really my cup of tea. Even if the graphics look nice, it just didn't interest me.
Right. That comes out September 26th.
Okay. September's really packed. Holy crap.
Gotta get your Northgard on. Sparklight is our next game on deck. It has a Zelda-like feel to it. The art style is, your 8-bit or 16-bit.
8 to 16-bit, yeah.
Coming out the fall. What was that game, Afterbirth?
That this reminded you of?
Yeah. It was like that religious game, and the character is just like a white guy, and you go around dungeons. It came out with a definitive edition and the definitive edition tagline was Afterbirth.
I have no idea.
Shoot.
You could take a look, because I got vibes. Even though I've not played this game, I've heard great things about it. The art style and kind of the gameplay reminded me of Moondrifter. Is it called Moondrifter? I'm pretty sure that's the name. Moondrifter.
The Binding of Isaac.
Oh, wow.
That
reminded you of The Binding of Isaac?
It did.
Do you mind typing in Moondrifter and see if it's the game I'm just thinking about?
No problem.
Moondrifter, basically, you played as a shopkeep. Like, in the game, when you play any game, you go to the shop and you buy the items, right?
Yeah.
How does... Moondrifter does not seem to be the game. Because we're getting Moondrifter slot game.
Slot machines. Is this Konami?
Moonlighter?
Are you sure there's moon in it?
Moon is 100% in it. Moon... Fuck. It's gonna bother me. This Moon game, you play as a shopkeep, but for him to have this stuff in his store, like for adventurers to come in and buy swords and potions and stuff, you go out and you actually go dungeon crawling.
Oh, cool.
So it's parts sim or retail store type of thing and parts actual dungeon crawler.
Right.
But I just don't know what the game is called, so...
Oh, well, we'll put it in post.
Yeah.
So the next one up would be Munchkin Quacked Quest.
Oh, yeah, I didn't write that one down.
It looks like another dungeon crawler.
Yeah. That's all I'll say about that one as well. Wasn't there a 2 on it, or no?
I don't believe so. Oh, pardon me. Sparklight is coming out in the fall.
Okay. And when is that Munchkin game coming out?
Munchkin Quacked Quest is coming out in the fall.
Very cool.
So some competition. Yeah, it just looks like a beat 'em up dungeon crawler. Yo, whatever happened to that unnamed Goose game?
I think it might have came out already.
Did it?
I think so.
Oh man, you should get that.
That's a game I do want to try.
That's like the better Goose game.
Is it unnamed? Untitled? Unnamed or untitled? Well, that game.
Yeah, that game. You know what we mean. Last but not least, for our indie world coverage, Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, this is a notable game because it's an Xbox exclusive, or at least it was an Xbox exclusive. Hopefully, they fixed the jank that was in the first one. Apparently, the first one had a few technical issues, but this is the definitive edition, so hopefully they sort that out. And obviously, this one falls in line with Cuphead and Lucky. Like that Conquer looking game, but it's not a Conquer game.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks fun. I like platformers. Will I rush out and get it? Nah. Should you rush out and get it?
Myself?
Yeah.
No, because I know it's probably going to be $50 or some stupid price, which is giving me anxiety just thinking about it. But I've always wanted to play Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know if it was available on games with gold or anything, but I never did get it for the Xbox, so I am looking forward to playing this. I will not be playing it right when it comes out because of the price, and also it's coming out in September, correct?
Yeah.
Is it the 21st or something?
So it's coming out September 22nd. I mean 27th.
27th, and a week before that is Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Yeah, I will probably pass on it at the time, but I do love the art style. I do love that it's giving me vibes of a bunch of 2D platformers like Celeste, like Hollow Knight, like even, I was saying, Lost Winds for WiiWare back on the Wii.
Moonlighter.
I said Moondrifter first, so Moonlighter is the game. But yeah, Ori and the Blind Forest is pretty cool. So overall, what is your take on Indie World that Nintendo delivered on Monday?
It was just like an indie direct. There were a few games that look cool. I don't know of any of those games that are must-haves. There's some cool arty games. You know, I like my art. And I would love to work with a developer who does some of those art games. Other than that,
Yeah, I share those same sentiments. Probably not work with these developers since I can't draw for shit. Yeah, I know there was some cool, I guess, surprises, some cool games in there. At least it was a lot of stuff, so you knew not everything was going to hit. But I like that it was jam-packed with announcements. Some of them brand new, some of them just ports, some of them sequels to games never knew existed. If you were to just choose one game from there that you could check out, do you have one specifically?
That I have picked out?
Yeah. Sorry, I kind of put you on the spot right there.
How about you go first, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay, I'm not going to choose the obvious of Ori and the Blind Forest because it's not brand new. But I will choose Best Friend Forever just because of its wackiness. But Eastward is also there, and The Tourist.
Yeah, those are my top two. Eastward and The Tourist. Oh, and
you like that Earth Night one.
Spiritfarer?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are my top three.
Okay.
Eastwood, Spiritfarer,
and The Tourist.
And The Tourist, yeah. The Endless Runner one, yeah, that's alright.
Yeah.
I like the animation.
Yeah. It's alright as a lot of these games on here. But again, because they're indie titles, they're hard to grasp their mechanics and how they'll play until you actually get your hands on them. And that's a great thing about indies. Lots of these games you do not have to invest a ton of time in, but they can be really memorable experiences. And lots of these are passion projects handled by 1, 2, 3 people, very small teams. Some of them a little bit bigger, but it's just amazing to see that we're in this time of gaming where you can have big AAA titles like your Red Dead Redemption 2, your God of War, your Super Mario Odyssey,
Witcher 3,
your Witcher 3, and then you could have these smaller games like this. Like Celeste was almost my game of the year last year and made by just a couple people.
I can't understand how. I like the game too, but I can't understand how.
It's crazy. Like my two best games are God of War and Celeste.
Yeah.
On two opposite ends. But that's where we are in gaming, that there's just so much variety and like you can put so much effort being a small team. I mean, it doesn't always pay off, which is sad, but we're not going to get into the whole economics and business side of the game world right now.
Yeah, we could save that for another show.
Yeah.
I kind of want to start a petition to like rename indies just third-party games.
Yeah.
Because they're quality.
But then it gets buried that way too, I think, because
third-party games?
Everything is third-party games other than
literally.
exclusives. But then indies don't get their spotlight. Like at least things like this, I mean that Munchkin game, which we probably don't care about,
right?
It got some sort of exposure. I think if it was just released as a third-party game, you're never going to see it in any sort of highlight reel. Not even.
We'll have a third-party highlight reel. I think they need to be stopped. Like I understand the indie term. They're not huge publishers, and they do a lot of the work themselves. Look at the Cuphead team. 3 people.
Yeah. Years.
Yeah. Hand
Canadians
animation.
too.
And, big ups.
Yeah.
Yo, that Cuphead can go head to head with, like, any Rayman game, I feel.
Well, yeah, that's probably, other than, like, Halo, that was one of Xbox's biggest exclusives for this generation.
Agreed.
It had sold like 3 million copies. That's an indie game. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially with like the Xbox not selling as well as the PS4 and the Switch now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I still like that they're called indies. I like that they're celebrated as a smaller community, and gives these people some voices. Even games that we both looked at and were like, not for us, right? Yeah. But the Switch has become a great platform for indies. Right off the bat, indies were perfect for on-the-go gaming, and Nintendo has embraced them very well.
Yeah.
And lots of these are old games too.
Some could argue that they had to.
Yeah. Because of what happened with the Wii U and everything too. And lots of these are ports, to be honest. Like even the 2 Shadow Drops are indie games that have been around for years with Super Hot and the Hotline Miami collection.
Right.
So you could take that for what it is. It's not really like, oh, they're supporting indies. Yeah, they're supporting some old indies as well.
Right.
And that just seems more like
to pad their year.
Yeah, to pad their year, and we have this game, we have this game. Yeah, well, the Xbox had that game like 5 years ago or whatever. But still really cool to be on the platform.
It's kind of like when they release old games like Oblivion. I know like a lot of Nintendo fans wouldn't have ever played an Oblivion game. Same thing with Witcher 3.
Like Skyrim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people. Same thing with Ori and the Blind Forest, just because it was on Xbox.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I have an Xbox, right? And like even Cuphead.
Yeah.
I got super excited, even though I own it on the Xbox.
Right.
I still haven't bought Cuphead because I'm waiting for the physical edition.
Yeah.
But like the idea of playing it in handheld, like excited me for that game. Like that, and that the game looks exactly the same. Like,
exactly.
Digital Foundry did a thing where it's like
the outlines
better
are thicker.
on the Switch. It's better on the Switch.
Nope, not at all.
I think it runs 90 frames on the Switch.
I actually don't. It's a little gripe,
yeah.
but I don't like how it looks on the Switch just because of the bolder outlines. I think the art style is truer on the Xbox than it is on the Switch, and it is minor, but I could tell a difference.
I haven't actually played the game, so yeah. But
you played Cuphead.
No, I mean I haven't played the Switch one. I've only seen the footage on the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the thing with third parties in general, like I'm not against getting third party games late, right?
Yeah.
I know we got like Assassin's Creed 3 HD not too long ago.
Right.
We got Final Fantasy X2, like really random third party games, Darksiders. That's fine as long as it's not taking anything away from other games that should be there day and date with the other releases. Like
how do you feel that you're paying full price for these games?
I feel ripped off, and that's something I've mentioned a few times in this with the stupid Nintendo tax.
Yeah.
Right? But THQ Nordic usually doesn't do
Great
that. That's
company.
why Darksiders, The Blob 2, all their games, they price usually $30 digital and $30 physical. More people should do that. The physical should not be an extra fucking $10, especially when the game being priced at $30, they're making more money off of that anyways.
I hope they THQ Nordic is going to come out with the new Time Splitters. That's going to be fun.
I heard that rumor is True. Didn't they?
I don't know if they're going to do it. I know they own. Oh man, THQ Nordic is doing everything right. If I was a company, I would just buy up old properties, rehash.
I don't know if I can't say they're doing everything right because they're doing a lot right, but they're dabbling in everything, and they're reminding me of the old THQ, and you just don't want them to go down that same path.
Hey man,
they didn't even have to use that name. I still don't understand why they chose the
name
THQ.
recognition. No one knows Nordic.
No, I understand, but THQ went bankrupt. That's like someone buying Midway's rights and calling the game Midway.
I would use Midway, 100%.
Mystic. I don't know.
I would use its name recognition, yo.
I guess.
Do you have anything else up that you wanted to speak about?
Yeah, big news for Sony. They actually purchased Insomniac Games.
You know, I thought they should have done this a long time ago. I actually thought they owned them at one point.
I think a good general gaming population thinks that Insomniac was already owned by them.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, they've made quite a few games for other systems.
They have.
Sunset Overdrive, which was one of the
Xbox.
first big exclusives for the Xbox at the time, was made by Insomniac Games.
Yeah.
They also make a few VR games for the Oculus.
Yeah. But
And
still,
they're still releasing a game later this year, which I think they are obligated to release.
Yeah, it was already in production. So they have to.
But we know Insomniac for Ratchet and Clank. We know them now for Spider-Man, which is a terrific game. We know them for Resistance: Fall of Man, which was a big franchise on the PS3. So Insomniac usually doesn't stick with they dabble in quite a bit. I would like to see them do something weird, like a racing game or something, because they probably could handle it. That's a big get for Sony to officially have them under their wing.
In a day and age when Microsoft is doing all the buying up.
Yeah, eating up everybody, basically.
Yeah. Sony needed to make a power move like this.
Yeah. I think it would be more of a power move if they bought, like, Capcom or something, but I don't think that's happening.
Ain't nobody doing that.
Yeah. This is the most obvious one, but that's a good thing to lock in. So, pretty much, I'm guessing we're going to get Spider-Man 2, especially with the way Spider-Man 1 ended. We'll probably get a new Ratchet and Clank, and probably some sort of new franchise on the PS5, I would assume. But I think for the PS4, they're pretty much done because they're probably still working on DLC for Marvel Spider-Man. With the PS4 rounding up into its final year next year,
yeah,
we'll probably see something either brand new or I'm going to say a Ratchet and Clank. But we will move on. So Gamescom had a huge live event hosted by Jeff Keighley, the host or creator of Video Game Awards show, big journalist in the business. They ended the show with his best friend's game, Death Stranding. I'm really hyped for Death Stranding, so that's why I wanted to put this in here. I haven't actually gone and watched all this footage. I've just read about it. There's basically going to be some sort of peeing mechanic in Death Stranding where you can pee as the main character.
I saw this trailer up on YouTube, and I refused to click on it. I think I'm Death Stranded out until it comes out, because it's like almost walking sim, and I don't want this game to be bad. I'm looking forward to it, so I just don't want any wacky things that might bring me down.
I kind of have to agree with you. I think I have to block out anything to do with Death Stranding until release now, because it's not like finding out any more information is making this game any clearer. It's making it weirder and weirder. The more questions we have answered, the more questions are created. I do love Hideo Kojima's wackiness. I am one of those people that are like, oh, he can't do any harm. But I am worried about Death Stranding.
So apparently a bunch of trailers got
so like in-game cutscenes and stuff, character trailers like that.
Jeff
Keighley's in the damn game. He's in the game just as a character, but he's not voiced by Keighley himself, which is really weird. But Hideo Kojima and him are bed buddies, so I guess that makes sense there. I don't think he's playing a character named that. I think it has a different name, the character in the game. That would be weird. But Hideo Kojima even put himself in Phantom Pain. There was a mission where you had to save Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of...
So the guy who voices Jeff Keighley,
Yeah.
is named Matthew Mercer.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just get Jeff Keighley to voice Jeff Keighley?
Because he's not a voice actor. He's a journalist. He's a video game journalist. One of the best in the business. Still hyped for the game. Worried about the game. I ain't going to have my That's the thing. Hideo Kojima has my money anyways. So he could have fucked up this whole thing. And I'm still going to play the shit out of this game for 5 minutes and then be confused. And we're going to end off with what we should always end off with, Pokemon. It is the end all and be all of my life. I just hit level 40 in Pokemon Go.
Congratulations. He clapped for himself.
That is our live audience that we have here. But we aren't here to talk about myself or Pokemon Go. We are here to talk about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Recently, there's been a few announcements over the past couple of weeks, actually, about the game. New additions. Some of the rumors that were leaked on 4chan a long time ago were weirdly super accurate.
Yeah.
Things like the bad guy team in it being called Team Yell. That there's more than just Dynamaxing. There's Gigamaxing.
Yeah.
But more specifically, there was Galarian. Is it Galarian?
Galarian forms. Kind of like Alolan forms.
Yeah.
But these ones are cool. I like that they're doing this. They're giving breath of fresh air to old Pokemon. Zigzagoon and Linoon now have a new evolution called what?
I don't remember what it's called. But they have a cool black and white or black and gray type of aesthetic.
It looks like a punk rocker mixed with a sports something, maybe rugby.
Like the Australian All Blacks. Is it All Blacks?
Yeah. Yeah,
no. I the Weezing looks really cool. The Weezing reminds you of like what they did with Executor. He has like big ass top hat, right. So he's like his body is very long now thanks to his weird chimney that he has on his head.
He also has a new typing. He's Poison Fairy.
Because his ability is some purification or something.
So Linoon's new evolution is called Obstagoon. And yeah, they're really punky, like almost Kiss-like, the rock band Kiss. So Zigzagoon obviously did zigzags. Linoon only ran straight, and Obstagoon, I guess, blocks your path. Yeah.
Yeah.
They introduced some new NPCs also.
Yeah, they did introduce some new NPCs. Not exclusive to Sword or Shield, not like the gym leaders. No. But they did introduce some NPCs.
Which is weird. I never knew that gym leaders were exclusive to...
Not all of them, but there's going to be some, like, this one only has the water one, or this one only has... It's, I think, something new with this game, because I don't think Sword and Shield had that.
Right.
But, I mean, it at least gives more of a difference between the two versions than, hey, you can't catch these 3 Pokemon in this game, which I always found super funny with the Sword and Shield. I mean, with
Pokemon
the dual format for these games in general.
So the 2 new rivals are Beed or Beady.
Okay.
It's a dude. And if you ever wanted your like dickhead of a rival back, like Gary, this is your guy. He seems more of a rival than a friend.
Okay. And
the new girl is Marnie, and she seems to be a professional something. I'm guessing Pokemon trainer, because Team Yell are like her fanboys.
Yeah.
And they follow her around everywhere she goes. She has like a darker motif. She uses the new Pikachu like Morpeko.
Oh yeah, that thing where it has the hangry mode and the full mode.
They actually call it hangry.
Yeah.
It's cute when it's full and it has little pockets, but when it runs out of food, it turns into a dark type.
Yeah.
I believe dark electric. Yeah, so what do you think? Are you excited?
I'm still excited for Sword and Shield. I do like most of the Pokemon that they've shown, like the brand new Pokemon for this. Right off the bat, when they showed Wooloo back when they first like showed that real trailer for the game, like I love the cute looking cheesy characters in Pokemon. So I'm a fan of the creations for this generation so far. I'm a fan of these Galarian forms. There's going to be abilities. I know they announced like what Weezing's ability was, where his ability nullifies everybody else's ability.
Oh yeah, and they also said if you Gigamax, so make your Pokemon gigantic, and you use the move will actually have status effects for the arena.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, like a water Pokemon can basically make it rain.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I'm just waiting for Sir Farfetch'd. That Galarian form, I want him to have like a little top hat, or his leak is like a cane and he has a monocle. Like, I can see it already. I know that was part of the leak, that 4chan leak, so it has to happen. But yeah, Pokemon's looking good. Indies are looking good. Insomniac is looking good.
As usual. And
Gamescon in general is looking good, and the gaming industry is looking good, except for Respawn Entertainment. But that's for another day. I think that's going to wrap up our podcast, our generic transmission for today.
It will.
And so, Mr. Amriel, where can people find you on the interwebs?
On this very channel.
That's it, right?
I will be working on this channel. We'll have a wrestling pod up this week.
Probably before this comes up.
Yeah. If you're into wrestling, we have our very knowledgeable Mr. Sean Ali giving us crazy stupid insights into things that we wouldn't even realize without him. A lot of Bray Wyatt talk if you're a fan of his.
Even if you're not a fan, I don't know why I got closer to the mic, so I'm sorry for headphone users. But even if you're not a fan of wrestling, I'm not a big fan of it, and I find these talks interesting.
Yeah, well, you're on it too.
Yeah, that's why. Man, I'm just trying to plug it.
Yeah. And I think in the future we'll probably have some more guests on the gaming pod.
That's right.
Maybe we'll turn this into a video show.
We should turn it into a video show. We should have live streaming too, some gaming, game shows, some prizes, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But you can find myself, Rickytheleaf, 8-Bit to the Future, Drake Quintel, on some social media things like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
What are they, man?
Just 8-Bit to the Future on Instagram is probably the best bet, because everything else is pretty much on private, or I don't really post much. But yeah, also on YouTube, 8-Bit to the Future. I haven't posted up a video in a long time, but you can check it out.
Some pretty good videos there.
Yeah, or some pretty good videos. But yeah, that's it for today's generic transmission gaming edition. We want to say thank you all for listening. Have fun gaming, doing what you do. And take care.
Peace.